Hello, my fellow creatures of the night. I am Baron Bones. Welcome back to From the Crypt. Today, we talk about the first Saw movie. I decided to do this for one reason and one reason only: to get more views, so I can get that monkey buffoon off my back, and that way I can continue to do my own stuff without him hindering me in any capacity. And what better way to do that than to tie in with a new release, Saw X? So, with the 10th movie coming out, let's talk about the first movie and discuss whether or not it still holds up. The first Saw movie, for those of you who do not know, was directed by James Wan and follows Lee Warnell playing Adam, who's also a writer on this film, and Dr. Gordon, played by Cary Elwes. And they wake up to find themselves in a less than up to code bathroom, chained to pipes. They have to work together to try to figure out how to get out of the situation. Well, making a couple attempts, Dr. Gordon realizes that this is the work of the famed Jigsaw Killer, a killer who traps victims and forces them to try to find ways out of certain traps. Most people don't do it and end up dying in the process. So, this is where the movie takes a turn from the sequels that would come after. You see, the Saw franchise after this would become known for, well, the gore, the torture, and just the massive amount of blood and screams. The first movie is way more subdued than that. In fact, we only get to see the aftermath of most of the games and most of the torture. It is quite different than the sequels that it would become known for. And that works to the film's advantage while also hindering the movie. It works to the advantage because it gives us insight to the characters as they try to figure out how and why they are there. It even gives us insight to Jigsaw, who's the most notable character in the movie by far, as we get to learn kind of why he's putting these games together, to try to teach the lesson of why life is important and why you should enjoy life, rather than just letting it pass you by. It's a hindrance because, well, these characters have a time limit, and they seem to forget about that. They have 6 hours, and they literally don't make a lot of progress in this movie. Instead, they just kind of sit around and talk to each other about why they're in this situation instead of actually working to resolve the situation that they are currently in. That is the main issue by far with this film. It's not helped by the fact that the acting in this movie is, well, bad. Really, really bad. All the actors in this movie are overacting and hamming it up to the extreme, and it just doesn't fit with the overall tone of the film. I mean, I love overacting and hammy performances in really overacting films and hammy movies, but this is a very serious film, and really should have deserved better acting and performances than what we got, especially from Cary Elwes as Dr. Gordon, who is usually really good in movies like this, but he's definitely hamming it up for the screen. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, to be honest with you. Then we have the visuals, and most of the time the set design is really good. I really like the Jigsaw's lair, the bathroom that the main characters find themselves in, and Dr. Gordon's house. The set design of these respective locations is really well done. However, there are moments where the editing is clearly from the early 2000s, as it does a lot of random cuts, random zooms that really make me feel the film was poorly shot at times. But those moments are few and far between. Another, good example of the film is the music. I really enjoy the overall score of this film, especially the Hello Zepp score towards the end of the film. I feel like it really works for the movie, and really is an example of a good music score, and it's clear to see why it became so well known with the film and why it became the theme for the movies going forward from there. At the end of the day, the first Saw movie is much more subdued, much more simple than the sequels that would come after it. And to some Saw fans, that's going to be why it's lesser than some of the follow-ups. To me, that's why it's superior. I love a good gore movie, but sometimes it's nice to have a film that follows the characters as they struggle to find a way out of their situation. And though this film focuses mainly on how and why these characters are there, I feel like that gives us enough insight to the characters to really root for them and gives us a better understanding as who Jigsaw is as a person in general. At the end of the day, I really enjoy the first Saw movie, and I recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it or hasn't seen it spoiled for them on the internet, as I truly believe this is a movie you have to go into without knowing the full twist, because if you do know the twist, a lot of the movie's going to feel rather boring for you. But still, give it a shot. I think you'll find it pleasantly done as far as a movie is concerned. That's what I thought about the first Saw movie. And as to how it holds up, I would say still pretty good overall. The visuals don't age well, but early 2000s, what can I say? If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And, well, I haven't covered any truly terrible movies yet on this show. I mean, The Cellar was bad, but not terrible. I think it was relatively fine in retrospect. So let's fix that. Next week, I review See No Evil. Oh, God. See you then, folks. And as always, stay terrified.